What if I told you that Olympic champions trained by maxing out 3 times a day, every day for years? No rest weeks, no easy days, just maximum weight, maximum effort until they either became legends or broke completely. This is the Bulgarian Training System, the most extreme strength program ever created. It's the 1970s. In a small gym in Sofia, Bulgaria, a handful of lifters are breaking records almost weekly. They're not genetic freaks. They're not using secret equipment. They're following a system that defies everything we know about strength training. A system so brutal, so obsessive, that it built Olympic champions and destroyed almost everyone who tried to follow it. The mastermind behind it all was Ivan Abajiev, known in weightlifting circles as the Pope. Before Abadjiev, most countries trained their athletes using traditional periodization. You'd build up volume, peak intensity, rest, and repeat. But Abadjiev had a radical idea. He believed the human body could adapt to anything, if pushed far enough. So he asked a question no one dared to ask. If competition is all about lifting your maximum, why not train that way every day? He threw out recovery weeks, accessory work, and endurance training. He reduced Bulgarian training to a few core lifts and demanded maximum effort every time, while the rest of the world lifted at 70 to 80% intensity. The Bulgarians lived between 90 and 100%, not once a week, not once a day, but up to 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening. Each session was short, maybe 45 minutes, but every rep was near maximal. They focused on just 3 lifts: the snatch, the clean and jerk, the front squat. That was it. No bodybuilding, no machines, no cardio. It was ultra specific because Abajiev believed that anything not directly improving those lifts was a waste of time, even counterproductive. The body, he argued, adapts to exactly what it practices. So if you want to be great at maxing out, you should practice maxing out. To outsiders, it looked insane, but to the Bulgarians, it was pure logic. They operated under the principle of specific adaptation to impose demand. The more frequently you expose your body to near maximal stress, the faster it learns to handle it. Nearly every day was a stress test, and if your body could recover from it, you'd become untouchable. But here's the dark side. If you couldn't, you'd burn out, fast. In Bulgaria, there was no such thing as overtraining, only under recovery, only weakness. Abadjiev famously said, "Pain is just the body's way of adapting." Let's break this down. Each Bulgarian lifter trained up to 3 sessions per day, 6 days a week. Each session was a full workout, not a warm-up. But here's the nuance. They didn't perform hundreds of reps. Each session had only a few heavy singles and doubles, around their daily max. That meant the total training volume wasn't huge, but the intensity was astronomical. Between sessions, they'd eat, nap, and sometimes get massage or physiotherapy. Their entire lives revolved around training and recovery. They lived in dorms attached to the gym. They didn't work jobs. They didn't have hobbies. Their sole purpose was to lift. This level of focus created world champions, but it also broke many beyond repair. What the Bulgarian system really tested wasn't the body, it was the mind. Imagine maxing out your squat every single day, nearly every day, risking failure, pain, and injury. Most people would burn out mentally long before their body gave out. But the Bulgarians were conditioned to never back off. They used what psychologists now call state conditioning. Abadjiev trained them to associate pain and fear with progress. He told them, "You are not injured, you are adapting." Lifters learned to detach emotionally from fatigue. Pain became data. Failure became feedback. Their mental resilience bordered on the inhuman. Between the late 1960s and 1990s, this tiny nation, Bulgaria, dominated Olympic weightlifting. From 1972 to 2000, Bulgarian lifters won 12 Olympic gold medals, over 50 World Championship medals, and set more than 100 world records. In a sport dominated by giants like the USSR and China, Bulgaria punched far above its weight. Their athletes, like Naim Süleymanoğlu, the pocket Hercules, became legends. At just 4 feet 10 inches, Naim clean and jerked nearly triple his body weight. That kind of performance redefined human limits. Coaches around the world couldn't understand it. How could such a small country dominate so completely? The answer was simple. No one else was willing to suffer like the Bulgarians. But here's where it gets darker. Greatness came at a cost. The system was merciless. Lifters who couldn't keep up were discarded. Injuries were constant. Burnout was routine. Even the best broke down. Abajiev didn't believe in long careers, only fast success. One Bulgarian lifter later recalled, "We trained like soldiers, not athletes. We didn't think about tomorrow." Some lifters used painkillers just to make it through sessions. Others turned to anabolic steroids, heavily supplied by the state, to survive the volume. By the mid-1980s, the program's dark side was undeniable. Dozens of athletes suffered joint degeneration, chronic tendon damage, and permanent nerve issues. The system built champions, but it also left wreckage. When Western coaches first studied the Bulgarian method, they were horrified. Up to 3 max-out sessions per day? No deloads, no variation. It went against everything science and experience said about recovery. And yet, the medals didn't lie. So, researchers began analyzing it. What they found was surprising. The Bulgarian system worked not because of reckless training, but because of precision. Every variable was measured: bar speed, heart rate, body weight, even facial expression. If a lifter's daily performance dropped by more than 3 to 5%, training was stopped. Abadjiev may have been extreme, but he wasn't stupid. He constantly adjusted volume to keep intensity sustainable. It was a delicate dance between progress and destruction. The Bulgarians discovered something the rest of the world would only realize decades later. The body's ability to adapt to frequency is almost limitless, if you recover enough. The reason most people overtrain isn't because of frequency. It's because of poor sleep, bad nutrition, and lack of recovery strategies. Bulgarians had recovery built into their lives: 8 to 10 hours of sleep per day, regular massage and physiotherapy, state-provided nutrition and medical supervision. If we strip away the extremes, the system had a few brilliant ideas. Specificity trumps variety. Doing the same few movements daily builds unmatched skill and neural efficiency. Daily exposure builds tolerance. The more often you handle heavy weight, the less intimidating it becomes, and the better your form under pressure. Short, frequent sessions reduce fatigue. Instead of one long session, multiple short ones allow for more total quality lifts. Intensity drives adaptation. You can't fake heavy lifting. The body responds to what it experiences most. These principles influence modern training methods like the Bulgarian split, daily undulating periodization, and max effort method popularized by Westside Barbell. Even though few could survive the original program, its DNA is everywhere today. But make no mistake, the Bulgarian system had limits. It demanded perfection, perfect recovery, perfect nutrition, perfect psychology. Without those, it crushed lifters. When other countries tried to copy it without state support, lifters got hurt, fast. They didn't have round-the-clock medical care or recovery time. The system wasn't scalable. It was exclusive to its environment. That's why even elite athletes today rarely train Bulgarian style full-time. It's simply too much for the modern world. By the late 1990s, doping scandals and athlete burnout caught up with the system. Bulgaria was eventually stripped of several medals due to doping violations. Bulgaria's dominance faded. Abadjiev eventually retired, leaving behind both glory and controversy. But his influence didn't disappear. In fact, you can still see it everywhere. Powerlifters using daily heavy singles. Weightlifters rotating 2 to 3 key lifts year-round. Coaches focusing on movement quality over volume. Even CrossFit, with its emphasis on frequency and intensity, owes a quiet debt to Abajiev's madness. He changed the definition of what training hard means. He proved that limits are flexible until they aren't. So, what can you learn from the Bulgarian system? Consistency beats variety. Master a few key lifts, don't scatter your focus. Frequency builds skill. Practicing often, even with lighter weights, sharpens your movement. You don't need to live like a Bulgarian lifter to learn from them. You just need to adopt their mentality, total focus, total precision, and total ownership of your results. The Bulgarian training system wasn't just a workout plan, it was a philosophy, one that treated the human body like a laboratory for performance. It created some of the strongest athletes in history, and left behind a warning for everyone who followed. Because in the pursuit of greatness, there's always a cost. Some chase balance, others chase perfection. The Bulgarians chased immortality, and for a moment, they caught it. But the question remains, was it worth the price?